Chapter 34, Maniac Magee. It was during the second night in the cabin that he heard the little voices, and they were not soldiers' voices.
I'm going in this one.
No,
Not that one. That one's bigger. I'm tired. I'm stopping. You stupid meatball. It's right there. Another 2 seconds. I'm staying. Great, you beef jerky. Stay. I'm going to that one. Good night.
silence then.
Hold on. I'm coming.
That was all. The ghostly soldiers returned, their haunted eyes seeking warmth, food, and life. There was no morning, only daylight in the doorway. He pushed himself up and he dragged himself outside into the blinding light. The saltines lay in the brown frozen grass. The next cabin was nearby. January slipped an icy finger under his collar and down his back. He pulled the blanket tighter about himself, but it was too late. The finger had touched the last warm coal on his hearth, and his body, fanning the embers, shook itself violently. He walked to the next cabin, he looked inside, and he saw a body huddled in the corner. An eye opened, and it stared at him. Then, in succession, 3 more eyes opened. The body divided and became 2. 2 little boys.
Get a load of this meatball,
said the one with the front tooth missing.
He walks around with a blanket on. Hey, meatball, why don't you bring your mattress along too? And your pillow too,
screeched the other. Then Missing Tooth whipped off his woolen cap and smacked Screecher in the face. Screecher retaliated, and Maniac had to step back while a 2-kid tornado swirled around the cabin. When they finished, they rolled onto their backs. They shook their legs at the ceiling, and they laughed as long as they had fought. The volume coming from Screecher was incredible, as though a microphone was embedded in his throat. Finally, Missing Tooth rediscovered the stranger standing in the doorway.
Hey, meatball, you wanted away too?
No, not really, Maniac replied.
Well, you are,
went Screecher. Where are you guys going? Maniac asked. The answer came from both.
Mexico.
Maniac bit back a grin. When they stood, he saw that they couldn't have been more than 4 feet tall or 8 years old. Well, he said, it's good and warm down there, but you know it's pretty far.
Yeah, we know, growled Missing Tooth. You think we're meatballs like you?
And he grabbed the supermarket bag in the corner and opened it.
Look!
It was filled with candy, cupcakes, pies, even a pack of butterscotch crimpets. Maniac's stomach rasped against itself. He remembered how thirsty he was. Where'd you guys get all this?
We stole it,
Screecher blurted. The other one smacked him in the cap.
Shut up, Piper, you stupid sausage. You don't go telling people you stole stuff.
Piper returned the cap slap.
You shut up, Russell. I didn't tell them where we stole it.
This time the fight was over in less than a minute. But it started up again when Maniac asked where they were from, and Piper said,
2 mills.
And Russell said,
shut up. He might be a cop.
And he bopped him good. When they settled down, they stared at him warily, and Piper snickered.
He ain't no cop. He's a kid.
Yeah, sneered Russell.
That's how much you know. They got cops that look like kids. That's how they catch kids.
They stared at him some more. They moved in cautiously, one on either side, and they opened his blanket, and they patted him all over.
What are we doing this for?
Piper wanted to know.
We're feeling for a gun,
Russell explained.
Oh.
After the patting, they backed off.
So,
said Russell.
You ain't a cop?
Not me, said Maniac. He moved in from the doorway. I'm, with only a moment's pause, and the story came to him. I'm a pizza delivery boy. We have a contest every week, and you 2 were chosen for a free pizza. The 2 gaped at each other.
We were?
Yep, a large.
Where was it?
Demanded Russell, glaring around. At Cobble's Corner. You got 24 hours to claim your prize. He waited while they bickered over what to do. Valley Forge was a good 5 or 6 miles from 2 mills. These kids might not have made it to Mexico, but they'd come a long way and stayed out overnight. And someone, somewhere, must be worried sick about them. And he had a feeling they weren't kidding about stealing the food. He figured he'd better help them make up their minds. You know, he said, you're taking the long way to Mexico. If you come back to 2 mills at me, I can show you guys a shortcut. That did it. Soon, the three of them were trekking past the Washington Memorial Chapel, Russell and Piper with their bag, Maniac with his satchel. It was early afternoon when they walked into Cobble's corner, Hector and Birch. Maniac produced his certificate for conquering Cobble's knot. And 20 minutes later, the young runaways were attacking a large pizza with pepperoni. Maniac confined himself to 3 glasses of water and half a dozen crimpets. The boys agreed with Maniac that they ought to stay the night in their own house before setting out for Mexico in the morning. They were barely a block from Cobble's corner when Maniac heard a familiar voice bellowing and barreling down the street. It was the fearsome fastballer, King of the Cobras, Big John McNabb. And he was really mad. Maniac might have taken off, but he found himself clung to and clutched to by these 2 little urchins. They huddled behind him like babies on a possum's back as Giant John came red-faced and huffing to them. "Where you been?" he yelled. As Maniac considered what to say, the urchins peeped from behind him.
We wasn't no place, John. We was right here with this here kid, and he ain't no cop neither. We checked him out."
For the first time, Giant John looked straight at Maniac, and a smile crossed his face.
"Well, well,"
he said,
"the frog man."
and his smile vanished.
"So what are you doing with my little brothers?"